Okay, hello, and welcome to PSY2012, or General Psychology 1. I'm your lecturer, Alana Fenton, and I wanted to record this because usually on the first day of class, you get to meet everyone. Sometimes some people don't make it to the first day, so rather than me having to repeat what it is I went over in class, I went ahead and decided to do a mini presentation of what it is we looked at the first day. There's only going to be 9 slides, so that's me. Hello. Just to give you a little bit of a background on myself, I have a Master's of Science in General Psychology at Nova Southeastern University, a Bachelor of Science in Human Development Psychology from Empire State College with the State University of New York, and I'm a graduate member of Psychi International Honor Society in Psychology. I do want to add that recently I've also gotten into my PhD in clinical psychology program in hopes of one day specializing in cognitive behavioral therapy. So professionally, I also have a few years with an honorable discharge within the United States Army, and as an associate member of the American Psychological Association, I have tons of resources. So if you ever need journal article advice or information on how to obtain certain APA articles, I certainly have access to those links. I did dibble and dabble in some writing. I'm the author of the Black Book for Single Moms, 30 Days of Inspiration. It's just one of a couple that I've written. I do plan to write some more, so I do look at writing as my strong point. Now you probably detect an accent, so I call this my human side, my personal side. I was born and raised in Trinidad. It's an island right off the coast of Venezuela, or off the coast of South America. I migrated to New York as a teenager in 1995, and I attended high school. For anyone who lived in Far Rockaway or Queens, New York, if you're familiar with Beach Channel High School, that was my old high school. I graduated in 1998. I first learned about psychology in my senior year in high school, where it is I had to do a report on careers, and it was one of 2 books left. It was between psychology and hairdressing, and I didn't know what psychology was back then when I was in high school, so I researched it and fell in love with it ever since. So I took my first general psychology course and sat exactly where you're sitting in my class back in 1998. So for those of you who think that that was way back, it probably is. It probably is for a few of you, given some of you guys' age. I have 2 boys, ages 11 and 8. My husband, who's former U.S. Navy. Needless to say, the last Army-Navy football game was a disappointment, but I still love my Army football players, so go Army. And I have 2 cats, Teardrop and Panther. My personal motto, which I think everyone should have a personal motto, is focus on the solution, not the problem. So, let's go into a syllabus review. For this course, if you're in, depending on what section you're in, if you're in the morning section, we have different rooms that I'll be in. Both sections are on a Tuesday-Thursday schedule, so you'd want to check your schedule, make sure you're in the 10:50 a.m. class, and then again make sure you're in the 3:15 to 4:30 p.m. class. If you miss the 10 a.m. class, I don't allow those who are scheduled in the morning to come to the evening. It does not work that way. I do take attendance every single day, and that does get recorded with the department. So you'd want to make sure that you're attending your section at your time. And I do start at 10:50 a.m. This is not a 3-hour long class. It's really an hour and some, and we don't have that much time to cover everything, so I don't have like a 15-minute grace period. So be there or be square. Okay, that was corny, but you get my point. Try to be there on time. If you need to reach me for any reason and it's really urgent, you can actually email me, but for urgent contact, you'd want to shoot me a text message. My telephone number is 843 452-6465. You can also call me. If you don't get me or I don't respond too soon, don't think I won't get it. I will get your message and I will respond as soon as I get it. If you call and I don't pick up immediately, you don't have to keep calling. Just leave me a message. Tell me who you are and what section you're calling from, if you're in the morning class or the afternoon class, and I'll be happy to return your call. Now, this is the textbook that you're using. For those of you that don't have the textbook by the first week, don't fret. A lot of what it is we're going to be doing in the first week, you probably will need the text, but at the same time, quite a bit of it I've given like a preview using Canvas, but I do recommend getting the textbook because it will help you on your open book exams. Okay, and I do want to recommend as well, this is also listed in your syllabus, if you're a student with a documented disability and you need any services, I recommend self-identifying with the Office for Students with Disabilities so that they can address your needs. They're in Building 10, Room 114. And this is at the Melbourne campus, of course. Now, Canvas, which I like, we'll be using it for written assignments, exams, discussion posts, and more. And you must complete a student orientation, which many of you have already done, and if you haven't, before class, I went ahead and shoot you an email, which you should have received saying, hey, you know, I'm seeing you as an observer. Please go ahead and start your orientation. This is a Gordon Rule class, meaning that you need a minimum of a grade C in order to pass this class. So we're not aiming for anything less than that. And the topics that we'll cover basically is the history of psychology, which we would likely go over on the very first day of class after our introductions. There's research methods, which we plan on getting really in-depth into, and there's brain and behavior, consciousness, learning, motivation and emotion, human development, cognition and intelligence, personality, psychopathology, and treatment of psychological disorders. So a whole lot of really cool psychology stuff. For those of you that are new in psychology, I really do hope you like it. I plan on making this course very interactive and informative and fun. So be prepared for group activities, be prepared for a lot of communication with your peers. Isn't that what college is all about? Yes. And understand that this course, you can get through it. Just, you know, stick it out, take it 1 week at a time, and we'll get through each and every one of these topics smoothly. Okay, these are just a couple of the things that I wanted to highlight on the student conduct. This is also in your syllabus. You want to be prepared to attend every class meeting and be on time, which I already mentioned. There's no food or snacks allowed in the class. I will allow bottled water. Reason being, you know, you can get thirsty, especially if you're doing a lot of communicating with your peers. So you'd want to do you'd want to go ahead and make sure that you have your bottled water if that's what it is you need. If you have a low blood sugar issue and you have to have some type of sugar or chew on something, I'd recommend some type of hard candy. But there's no food or snacks that's allowed, and this is a department rule. You want to turn off all cell phones and electronic devices upon entering the class. This is because, you know, everyone's there for a reason, and you might not appreciate it if someone else turns on their phone and starts texting away or talking, or it becomes a distraction for some. So you want to be mindful of that. If you must take a call or you have some emergency and you have to have your phone on, just try to put it on vibrate, and if you need to step out of class, do so quietly and try to keep it under 5 minutes. There's no wearing of headsets or similar devices, all the Bluetooth devices and communication headsets, anything like that, unless you absolutely need one for a disability, because you may in fact be sensitive to noise and you need to wear a headset. It's not allowed. There's no emailing or surfing the internet during class time on any device. The reason being is that we really want to encourage critical thinking, and as opposed to Googling. So if you find yourself trying to Google answers, well, you're not really helping yourself. So you'd want to not email or surf the internet on your cell phones. Absolutely no sleeping in class, please. 1, it's rude. 2, it's rude. And 3, it's very rude. So no sleeping in class. again, it could be distracting for your peers. And you know, if you fall out your chair, you know, we will laugh. So try not to sleep. If you feel like you're getting sleepy, you know, it's okay to stand up and get to the back of the class and bend your knees a little bit, get your blood pumping, and then you can have a seat. But to sleep in class, you're going to miss the bulk of what's going on, and it's going to reflect when it is you take your test. It's going to reflect on your grade. Definitely want to demonstrate respect for your classmates and your instructor. I'll always be respectful at every time. I expect everyone to be the same, and that's a given, so I won't even go any further on that because I know everyone understands that and we're all adults. And absolutely no profanity towards anyone in class. Let's leave the cussing matches for outside. And again, that's another thing I know that you guys are already well aware of as adults, so I won't even go any further there. Some more things you need to know. The last day to withdraw from this class is April 2nd of this year, of course, so April 2nd. Students will be allowed 3 excused absences for the entire term. You must provide some type of documentation. So, what does that mean? Well, if you have to get your car fixed, you have to go to the dentist or to the doctor, and you want to have an appointment for a regular checkup, try to do those things when you don't have class. Okay, so you registered for class, you know that you're responsible for being here, as am I, having to be there as well. Try to not miss class, because again, you'll miss so much and it'll reflect in your work. 2 tardies are going to represent 1 absence. And what is a tardy? What is my definition of a tardy? If you're walking into class after 15 minutes, now I know I said I don't have a grace period. Well, let me clarify. I will start class promptly at the time it's supposed to start. However, if you walked into class past the 15-minute mark, so after 15 minutes of class, you are tardy. So after 15 minutes walking in, after 2 tardies, that becomes 1 absence, and those absences can count against you. And according to the department and their policy, you can in fact get dropped from the class. I would really hate for you to miss this really cool class, because it is going to be really cool. So don't miss it. Don't be late, and let's get through it together so that you can get your grade. Okay. No late or missed work will be accepted. There's a reason for that. I'm using Canvas, and because I'm using Canvas, there's going to be a lot of open windows for you to get things done. This allows for flexibility. It also allows for great time management, not just for the student, but also for me, the instructor. And with that being said, being that I do have 3 different sections and over possibly close to 90 students, it would be impossible for me to keep up with who's late with what and then have to backtrack and correct everything. And I think that's fair. So you're going to have time to submit things. You're going to have a lot of flexibility, and as a result, no late or missed work is going to be accepted. If you miss it and you're locked out of it on Canvas, it's going to lock you out completely, and that's going to result in a 0. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be fine, and you're not going to have those issues. I know things come up, but again, there is an open window on Canvas. The course is graded on a point system worth 700 points. I like point systems because it allows you to see where you're at throughout the semester, and there's no surprises. There's 4 written assignments, 4 discussion posts, 1 final paper, which you'll submit on Canvas. There's 3 exams and what I'm calling a lightning quiz or mastery quiz throughout the semester. What this mastery quiz is, it's going to be 25 questions. Okay, and these 25 questions, you're going to be asked throughout the semester at random, any random day. I'll ask that question in the beginning of class, so you'll have to pay attention to the to what it is we're discussing in class, when it is we do have a class lecture. Okay, and you're going to be asked the same question at the end, towards the end of class. And then you're going to hand a little card in with the answer, with your name on it and the answer to that question. And this is how it is you're going to get credit for this quiz. So it's not going to be a come in, sit down for an hour and take a quiz. It's going to be 1 question on any random day that I pick, 25 questions in total for the, I think, 30 or 31 days that we meet for the entire semester. This means that you have to be there, because if you're not there, then, and I ask that question, you're going to miss out on those points. And if memory serves me correctly, each question is worth 2 points, because I believe that 25 question section is a 50-point exam. So you definitely want to be there. You'd want to be paying attention. You don't want to be sleeping through it, because if you miss the answer from not listening and not paying attention, then that mastery or lightning quiz, you start to lose points over time. So that should be fun, and it also helps to kind of take away from those students who have anxiety or test anxiety issues. So I hope that helps. So you'd want to see page 5 of your syllabus for a breakdown of points. And here's your schedule. Weeks 1 through 4, this is what it is we're going to be discussing. Chapters 1, 2, and 4. Your syllabus also tells you when things are due, so you want to pay attention to these reminders on your syllabus. And weeks 2, we're going to go into 4, 5, 6, and 7. Don't forget you have a spring break, and I know you're not going to forget that, but there's going to be a nice little break here, and then we'll come back and get into some case studies with psychological disorders and end with chapters 13 and 14. Okay, so here's the point system I was going over. You'd want to get over 630 for an A, over 560 for a B, and over 490 for a C. So anything below 489 and below will get you at a D, and that will not pass you in this class, being that it is a Gordon rule. So pay attention to your points so you know what your strong points are, and you'd know if you didn't do so well in one area, you'd know what you need to strengthen yourself up and to work on those points in another area. Just for doing your orientation, you'll notice by the end of the first week you would have gotten 10 points just for getting it done on time. And voila, just like that, you've earned 10 points just for signing in and doing your Canvas orientation and familiarizing yourself with it. So take the time on your syllabus to look at the breakdown of points. And let's see, yes, the Mastery Quiz, 25 questions, is 2 points each. So for, again, try to be there. Don't be absent, because if I ask it a question on that day that you're absent, that's an entire 2 points that you're missing out of 50, and these points do add up. You'd be surprised the difference that 4 or 5 points make between a D and a C and a B and an A. So again, you'd want to be there. And this right here, this is our last slide. It shows the breakdown of the course. 1% of your grade is orientation, 6% is discussions, 43% of your entire course is made up of exams, so you'd want to do well on there. The mastery Q&A is 7%, then you have your written assignments and your final paper. Alright, so if you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me an email after you see this, or as well as you can also wait until you see me the next day of class. Again, I wanted to go ahead and post this so that students who didn't make it to the first day of class will have a record of what it is we discussed on the first day. It is such a pleasure being with you guys as your instructor for this 16 weeks. I wish you guys well, and let's have fun with psychology.